And I'll put the bit.ly link in the chat again for those of you who just joined us. Again, if anybody, if someone joins us later and asks for the link, or even if you are here right now and you don't know where the link is, feel free to reach out and ask in chat. So right now, all I have to do is go over to the link in chat. I can copy and paste it. Some of you might be able to click on it and it opens up a new tab for you. Whatever you get to work, feel free to do that. But I'm going to just show you my personal account. So if I was taking this workshop, all I would have to do is come up here to a new tab. Make sure I am in the Google Chrome web browser and come up here to the Omnibox and then just paste in the bit.ly link. What a bit.ly link is, it's just a shortened URL address for the Google slide deck. A URL stands for Uniform Resource Locator, and that is just the web address for this Google slide deck. So here I've got my the Google slide deck. If I want to add this to my drive for later, if I want to maybe look at it in a week, a month, a year, whatever it may be, I can come up here and where it says this drive, add shortcut to drive. Anytime you see this triangle with the plus sign, that means you can add it to your drive. All I have to do is click on that. And then if I want to just put it in my drive, I can. Or if I like to be organized, I can come down here and go to a workshop or to a folder that I've already created. If I don't have a folder that I can put it in, I can create a folder right here. So think of your Google Drive as your file cabinet. And within that file cabinet, you can have folders. If at any time you don't already have a folder, then you can come down here and go to new folder and add shortcut there after you add the new folder. So I give the new folder a name, hit the check mark here, and add the shortcut there. If I don't use Google Drive at all, that's fine. You can come up here and put it on your bookmark bar. How do I bookmark it? All I have to do is come over here to the Omnibox. We have a star here. When I click on that star, I can bookmark it. And then what I can do, I can put that to my bookmark bar. I can put it to a folder within my bookmarks. And if I just click here, done, what it's going to do is put it to my bookmark bar. You might be asking, hey, my bookmark bar is not showing. If at any time your bookmark bar is not showing, you can come over here to the right-hand side, to the right of your Chrome profile, and click on these three dots and come down here and go to bookmarks and show bookmark bar. If at any time you want your bookmark bar off, you can just click on that and it goes off. If you want it back on, just come over here and put it back on. So that's the bookmark bar. That's adding it to your drive if you want to. Couple different ways. Again, what's nice about technology is there's multiple ways to do the same thing. So you'll see that you will be able to comment on this. So if you see something here on a slide that you want to comment on, feel free to add comments here to the slides. Also, if you've heard me say the slide deck, if you're used to Microsoft PowerPoint, that's a collection of slides. Same thing, Google Slides is a collection of slides, and just over time, people have called them the slide deck. So no rhyme or reason there for, if you hear me say slide deck. If you hear some other terminology that I use and I don't explain it, feel free to put it in chat. Again, maybe someone else knows what it is and they can answer it. If not, if a lot of people are asking that, feel free, someone, I don't know if Kelly's on with us today, that someone can unmute and interrupt me, because I do miss the in-person interaction with you all. So the big thing today, then, some of you might be asking about your ISB evaluation. That will come from the ROE1, and you will get within the next 24 to 96 hours. So don't panic if you don't get the form here today. Again, it could, give them a few days. If by Friday this week you don't get your PD hours, feel free to reach out and email me and I'll see what's up. But if you can today, just like if we were in person, we had a sign-in sheet. our sign-in sheet is right here. If you click on that sign-in sheet, it should look like this. So feel free, fill this out, definitely if you're wanting your PD hours, because we will verify your sign-in sheet based off of you filling this out here. And then we've got an evaluation here at the end of the workshop, if you could fill that out as well. And then I will put the workshop recording here on the YouTube channel. Again, it'll probably be later this afternoon or evening. And you can access it from my YouTube channel. And then also by taking this workshop, there's a Google voucher form. If you want to take the Google Level 1 exam, it is a $10 exam fee. And if you don't want to have to pay the $10 exam fee, that's fine. The Learning Technology Center has bought vouchers, and just for taking this workshop, you can fill out this Google voucher form that you can then get, it'll pay for your Google Level 1 exam. And I'll talk more about that throughout the training as well. So what you could do if you want to exit full screen, if you're new to Zoom, there's a couple different places. Right here in the middle of the screen, I think to the right-hand side on your screen, you can exit full screen. It could also be on the far right-hand side. It's like a little bracket, almost like a square or rectangle, that you can click that to exit full screen, so you can have two windows going at the same time. Do you have to? No, you don't. But I think this is good for us to learn when we are on the student side of it, to realize what our students are going through when we're asking them to do so much, or we ask them to do a lot during this time of remote learning the last couple of months. A little bit about me here. I'm on slide 3. My name is Lisa Schwartz, and I did teach in the Quincy Public School District for 19 years. I taught 6th through 9th grade in various subjects. Majority of the time I did teach computers and computer science, and we use Microsoft. So the last few years that I taught, I did incorporate Google, and I was learning as I was teaching it with the kids. Did I make lots of mistakes? I did, but the kids also got to see me as a learner and learning new material. But then we got to compare Google and Microsoft, and it was a neat experience to see pros and cons of both of them, the Google apps and the Microsoft apps as well. Currently, I am working for the Learning Technology Center as a regional ed tech coordinator. And right now I do cover, or I work with 10 ROEs here in Central Illinois and the school districts within those ROEs. If you need to get a hold of me, here's my email address. Feel free to send me an email. If you don't know much about the LTC, feel free. Here on slide 4, it talks about our mission. We are a grant initiative through ISB. And here on slide 5, here's some other links about the LTC, other online learning opportunities we have, and then other workshops, and then just the community that we have out there. If you look here at slide 6, this is what we are going to be covering today. I'm talking about why certification, and I did create a Google certification slide deck. If this is the first time you're learning about the Google Level 1 exam, feel free. You should have access to that slide deck that you can go back at and look through. And then again, I think on the YouTube channel, I did put the recording of that Google certification workshop as well. And then we will go over the Level 1 training. I'll go over a little bit here on the front end, and then I will cover more tomorrow at the end before I leave you. We will, since this is a 3-hour workshop, I will try to get at least a 10-minute break in here for you all. I do realize some of you've got kids in the background that you're trying, to help out, as well as you are learning in this workshop. And I say kids, you may have adults in the background as well. So that's the main reason I am trying to record this and putting it out there for you, that if you so need to go back to it later, you can. And then if you look here on the agenda, we've got a lot of different apps that we're going to cover. Again, why are we covering these different apps? I'm not going to go too much in depth, just kind of surface level of what is on the exam, or, you know, to know what you need to know. It's to prep you for the exam. If you are, you know, if you're new to Google and you want to do a more deep dive in some of these apps out there, feel free to then go to the other YouTube videos I have out there to look at those to learn more about. So we will, here on slide 7, I went ahead and gave you the slide deck here in the beginning because everyone learns differently. Some of you might be able to learn by going through the slide deck and not be, you know, you don't have to stay with me. Would I say this if we were in person? I would. Again, why? Because again, we all learn differently. And some of you may go through the slide deck and think, okay, I've got this, I know this, I'm ready to take the exam. That is fine. Some of you may need me to walk you through a little bit more, and that's what I'm here for. Again, if some of you, in this slide deck, I've got a lot of different links that it takes you to different web pages out there to learn more about the Google apps. I've got the Google Level 1 training site, and again, I will go more in depth about this tomorrow afternoon, or tomorrow before you leave me, about the training site and what else you need to do to prepare for the exam. And then I will go over how to register for this, the exam as well. So here on slide number 8, you might be asking, so why do I want to become Google Level 1 certified? Everyone has different answers. Here are some of the benefits of becoming Google certified educator. I do know some school districts out there, they are giving some stipends, or, you know, a little bit of monetary, I get a little bit of money here for you by completing all of the trainings and then taking the exam. Some don't, and that's fine. When I went on my journey, I wanted to learn as much as I could. I love to learn. I was, you know, came from a Microsoft school, and I wanted to learn about Google and how to incorporate that in the classroom. So I did go through all of the training myself, and my school district wasn't giving me any stipends, but I just wanted to learn more and see what else is out there for my students and how I could incorporate it into the classroom. You know, the big thing for me and what I learned from this Google journey was my students and even my colleagues saw me learning, and that I didn't know everything. You'll see today, some of you may ask questions. I might not know the answers, but hopefully you'll see my thought processes and how I can go about trying to find the answers. So don't mean to burst anybody's bubble out there, but I don't know everything out there. But with technology, we don't need to. There's ways around that. So again, benefits of becoming a Google certified educator. Feel free, if you want to put in the chat of your why of wanting to take this course or get certified, please do that. Also, if you want to add in chat, introduce yourself. We've got a lot of people here, you know, over 100 participants here with us today from across the state of Illinois. I don't know if we have anybody out of state today, but feel free to put your name, maybe what school district you're at, and maybe what your role, whatever you want to do. Introduce yourself and chat if you feel free to do that. And then also maybe put your why. So again, I appreciate, I'm just looking over at chat real quick, appreciate people stepping up and putting the link in there again for me and for the participants. So let's, I'll go ahead and move on then. And you'll see that I don't, when I'm presenting, I'm not presenting from the presentation mode from the slides, because I will switch back and forth. Once I start talking about the apps, I'll go into a new tab. So again, with the level 1 exam, you do need to have an 80% to pass the exam. So today is June 15th. My suggestion, if you are interested in taking the exam, right now, if you can take it by June 30th, that would be in your best interest. If you can't, don't panic. What Google is doing, they are changing their testing platform. Right now, Criterion is the test administrator, and they're changing it over to ProctorU. So again, with change, there's, you know, some new things and glitches in there. So what I have found, I have had some people take the exam in ProctorU. Majority of the people are trying to get the exam taken before June 30th while it's still under the criterion testing platform. But if you do, if you can take it, whether it's here before June 30th or after, right now, Google, you do need an 80% to pass the exam. If you get a 76%, you'll get an email say that you got a 76%, and it will tell you a few things that you might need to work on. I will tell you 30% of the people who passed the exam, they just said they ran out of time. So for, you know, I've been doing multiple workshops like this since March, and for the majority of the people who have taken the workshops and they've let me know that they've passed it, some people said it took them 2 hours to take the exam. Some said they used all 3 hours. So again, you've got, you know, all kinds of people out there, and it takes them, you know, different times. Personally, it did take me 2.5 hours to take the exam, and then I used the last half hour of the exam to review a few things that I marked in the exam. It does say 3 hours with no breaks. How do they know? Periodically, you have to have your webcam on, and they will take pictures to make sure, you know, to authenticate that it's still you taking the exam and you didn't have someone sit in for you to do the exam for you. Again, it's $10 to take the exam. By taking this workshop, we're offering you a voucher through the Learning Technology Center, so there's no cost to you to take the exam. The certification is good for 36 months. Again, they have it for 36 months because there's always updates out there with Google, and Google wants you to stay updated with their apps. And again, here's the certification site, new Google site. Feel free, if you want to, click on those links, go to that while I'm presenting if you're interested. If not, I will talk about this more tomorrow before you leave. So what is on the test? You have two parts to the test. One part is multiple choice drag and drop questions. There's about 20 of those. The second part of the test is scenarios or tasks. So today, how I have the workshop set up is we'll do some, I call them challenges, based off of some of these apps, and that will hopefully get you ready, prepping you for the level 1 exam. So if you see here on slide 10, we've got 10 scenarios. So this is a participant back in March, a couple months ago, took the exam, and here were the scenarios she had to do on the level 1 exam. So she had one scenario, she had to know Google Classroom, Google Docs, Groups, Gmail, and so forth. You see Google Forms, she had 3 scenarios that she had to follow. So again, if you're overwhelmed right now, that is fine. If you're nervous right now, that is fine. Hopefully, that's why you're here taking this prep workshop to get you ready for the exam if you so choose. Now, can you take this workshop and you don't plan on taking the exam? You sure can. I will tell you, last week I did this workshop with a different ROE, and I had a few participants join. They said they were very beginning Google users, and they were overwhelmed. They stayed on for an hour or two, and then they had enough. So that is fine. You do what fits your needs. And again, I'm not here to try to overwhelm anybody out there. So if at any time you do have this Google slide deck available to you afterwards, and then you do have the YouTube recording as well. So to get started here on slide 11, one of the things Google asks you to do is make sure you know how to open up an incognito window. So coming from the classroom, the incognito window I didn't use. Why? Because in my school district and many school districts out there, the incognito window is usually turned off. You don't have that option. So my suggestion, maybe try, whether it's today or whenever, opening this up through your personal account. So how do I get to the incognito window? right up here to the right of my Google Chrome profile, I go to the three dots. Right here it says New Incognito Window. Click on that. And so you might ask, well, what's the incognito window? Because when I first learned about the incognito window, I thought, I understand why school districts block this, because they don't want people to search for things that is inappropriate during the school day, or on the school devices. Well, if you look at the incognito window, and it says right here, what it does is it doesn't keep track of your cookies. And again, don't panic if you don't understand what that is, but it says right here, Chrome won't save the following information: cookies and site data, your browsing history. But if you look right here, your activity still might be visible too. So your school district or your employer can still track what you're doing, what you're searching in Google Chrome, even though you've gone incognito, and your ISP, your internet service provider as well. But here's what I would use incognito window for. Sometimes if I want to go and check to see if I created the links correctly, so when I created the bit.ly link for today's slide presentation, to make sure that I didn't give you editable rights, I can check it here. If I'm searching for maybe airline flights or hotels out there, I might use incognito window. Why? Because it doesn't save the following information. It won't save it. It won't save the cookies and site data. And why is that important? So then later on, off to the side, it'll come up, what hotel I'm searching for, and do advertisements on the site. Another reason people use incognito is so when they are shopping for Christmas presents. So again, whether it's their kids, their significant other, so they don't see the ads come up on the computer if they're sharing the same computer of what, someone told me they were searching for UGG boots for their daughter. So they made sure they were searching in incognito mode, so then the ads wouldn't come up later, and then the kid could see, oh, mom or dad, I know what you're getting me for Christmas. And how is that? Because they saw the ads come up on the right-hand side. So Google asks that you will take the exam in incognito mode. Again, with the exam, Google will create a Google account for you. So you won't even touch your Google account during the exam. So don't worry if you think your Google Drive is a hot mess or whatever it may be. They will create your own Google account just for the exam. And you will use principals' names in that Google account, students' names in that Google account. You won't touch anything in your Google account during the exam. Another thing with the Google exam, right now, under the current exam system, they do let you open up other tabs and search for questions to your answers if you're unsure. And that is why it's just like an open book test. If you've ever taken one of those before, you think you have plenty of time, to search for your answers. And that's why 30% of the people fail the exam, because they run out of time, thinking they have plenty of time to go Google all of the questions and answers during the exam. And you just don't have that time, because that you only have 3 hours. So then right here on slide 11, I kind of showed you how you could create a folder in your Google Drive. Here I said create it, Google Level 1 workshop. Do you have to? You don't. But don't forget, after you've added this to your drive, at any time, do you see right up here, I don't have the triangle and the plus sign anymore because I have added it to my drive, but right from the Google slide deck, I can come up here, click on that folder, and I can move it to a different folder if I want from here by creating the new folder. I can go back to my Google Drive and put it in a different folder. So right now it's saying it can't load. I just need to maybe refresh it and see if it will load again. Create a new Google Doc. So again, within that folder, you can create a new Google Doc inside. If you want to take notes, do you have to? You don't. But again, the exam is kind of set up like this with their scenarios. They've got some steps in there, and you just have to follow those steps. Okay. So here on slide 12, so we've got over 1,200, or 1,200, we have over 100 people with us today. If you want, what I've done, I created a collaborative slide deck. We'll see, I'm going to probably not try to stay on it right now, here in a few minutes, but if you have time and want to play around with learning how to create a collaborative slide deck with other participants in our workshop today, please feel free to do this. So I've got some instructions here. If you haven't, so how did I go here? Again, if you've got a split screen, all I did was I clicked on this link right here on slide 12. So since I'm not in presentation mode, if I click on this and click here, I have to click twice to go to the link. If I was in presentation mode, so if I come up here and go to presentation mode, all I would have to do is click on this link right here, and it takes me to this other slide deck that I've created. But the reason I'm not staying in presentation mode, because I am going to switch back and forth to different tabs up here. But anyway, on this slide deck, so some people are already working. So do you see, like on slide 2, we've got 2 anonymous animals. You guys are showing up as anonymous because I didn't share this with you through your Google account. So Jenny, I hope you're okay. So here on slide 2, Jenny started to type. So if you see someone on another slide, don't start typing there. You all have editable rights, so you could accidentally delete someone else's stuff. You could type on here, but Jenny, you go ahead and start typing here on slide 2, or continue. So if you see that, jump down to another slide. I think I have plenty of slides in here, and start typing. Again, do you have to do exactly what I have here? You can if you want. You don't have to if you want to change it a little bit. If you want to delete something, you can. So what I'm asking you to do here, I want you to type your name on one of the slides, where and what you teach. Feel free to give us a fun fact about you. Put a selfie in and your favorite YouTube video. The reason I covered the last 2 things here, because I've got you know, people again who are new, they may not know how to do a selfie here. So right now Stacy is typing on slide 1. How do I know that? How do I know it's Stacy? Because she's put her name here and she's coming up as the anonymous cheetah. So that really the only way to find out what anonymous animal you are is have someone else you know, watch you while you put the you know, while you type on here. So again, you don't have to create a new slide here. Just keep going down until you find one that an animal is not on. If you look at my screen, do you see how there's an anonymous panda on slide 2? Oh, someone went and deleted slide 2 because maybe they accidentally created a new one. And that's fine. There's going to be people making mistakes. Don't panic. You can always undo what you've just done, because what's happening here is sometimes someone may go and change the whole slide deck to a different theme or background color, and you were meaning to change just the slide. So again, all you have to do is come up here to hit undo. But this is practice, so it's okay if you make mistakes. We've all been there. Just take a deep breath, go and hit undo, and then undo it. So if you don't know how to do a selfie, let me walk you through how to do that. If I go up here to insert, and I go here, so right now I'm on Jenny's slide. Jenny, if that's okay, that I'm just going to use yours, so I'm not scrolling down right now, but I'll delete it and you can put yours there. But hit insert an image. And all I have to do when I hit image, I have different places I could get an image. So if you don't want to take a selfie, that's fine. You can upload an image from your computer, from your drive, from your Google Photos, from a URL or a camera. So here, click on camera. And right here then, it's taking it from my camera from my other monitor, so I can look at that, you know, give it a smile, whatever. And then when I'm ready, click on the camera picture. Okay, so then right there, there's the picture. If I like that picture, I can go ahead and then click insert, and I can use that. So I can delete this selfie box by highlighting that and hit selfie. but I'm going to go ahead and just cut this picture so then Jenny can put her picture there. Again, do you have to put a selfie? You know, if some of you are still in your PJs, that is fine. If you've got another picture out there, you can upload that picture as well. And then, so right now Jenny put what she teaches, her fun fact. And again, if you want, you can delete my questions there once you've answered them. As you can see, you have full editing rights to this entire slide deck. And then it says delete the YouTube image and insert your favorite funny YouTube video in its spot. So again, I can delete that. I put that there just so that people know to put a video there. Can you rearrange this on the page? You can, but again, I didn't know everyone's level with Google Slides, so I did give a template. If you do use Google Slides in the classroom, in the beginning, you might want to use a template, but then maybe once the students know about Google Slides, and you know, if you do have an editable Google Slides out there for the class, that they could, you know, create what they wanted and not off of a template. Again, it's depending on, you know, the kids' level of Google Slides and maybe even your level of knowledge of Google Slides. So to insert a YouTube video, all I have to do is come up here to hit insert and go to video. And right here, I can search YouTube right within Google Slides. If I already have a URL of the video that I want, I can paste it here, or I can go for my Google Drive and get a video. So let me just put, I'm just going to put in a Jerry Brooks video. And so if I like, you know, here's the list of all of his videos. So if I like, this is the video I want, all I have to do is select it and come down here and hit select. When I hit select, and again, Jenny, I hope you're okay with me messing with your slide right now. I can delete this YouTube one and I can move this around here. So I've got a video right there. And then what's nice about putting videos in Google Slides is when the video plays from Google Slides, it doesn't show any ads, it doesn't show another YouTube video at the end. And then also over here on the right-hand side, you also have format options that come up that you can adjust the start time, the end time of this video. You can have it autoplay or mute the video. So again, I'm going to delete this, but Jenny, thanks for letting me use your slide, but go ahead and insert a picture, a selfie, and or a video. I'll give you a few minutes to work on that. While you guys are experimenting with this, if anybody wants to unmute and ask any questions, feel free to, and this will give me a chance to look at the chat as well.
I don't understand where you access a slide. Like, how do I?
Yeah, great. So have you accessed the slide deck? Do you have this? Okay, perfect.
No, I'm looking at the slide deck, but when I click on a blank slide, nothing happens.
Okay. So do you have two monitors, or do you have a split screen that you're able to access my slide deck, and then on one side of the screen you've got my shared screen?
I have your slide deck and the shared screen, right?
Okay. So then do you see how I'm scrolling over here to the left?
I do, but I can't make that happen.
Okay, can you make sure that you aren't on my shared screen? Can you exit out of full screen?
Okay. Okay. That doesn't make a difference. I'm still not able to.
If anybody else wants to jump in and let me know what you did on your screen to be able to jump into the slide deck, please do so.
Did you open a new tab?
A new tab, like up at the top?
Are you looking at her slide deck that she's using on the video, or did you create a new tab and open your own?
Oh, I was just looking at hers.
Yeah, so hers is just like a video of what she's doing. So you'll need to go to chat and like copy and paste the link into a new tab so you can get the like your own to create and move around.
Okay.
So since I don't have your view right now, I can't show you where you can exit full screen. But
Okay.
there's a couple different ways to exit full screen. So right here, so Jessica, thank you for sharing what you did there.
Yeah, did that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So oh, go ahead, Jessica.
No, I was just gonna say, did it make sense? I just wasn't sure if I was explaining it correctly.
Yeah.
I understand what you're doing, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. And I know how to create the slide. I just can't get to, what I've been using is 2 different laptops. Like I'm watching the presentation on one, and let me see if I can. So I have the slide deck that I can control on my second laptop, but I don't see where the slides are where I can access, and can I just put it in? I don't understand.
Okay, Peggy, thank you for your patience. Take a deep breath. We'll help you here. And as you can see, we're all different types of learners. So right here on slide 12 is Google Slides Introduction. So what I've done here, I've created another slide deck where you have editable access. You have editable rights to where you can change as you saw other people. So when you clicked on this, then it opened up a new tab. So when it opened up the new tab, then see if there's a way you can have that tab where you don't have my screen showing, that you can have it where you can edit it.
Okay.
If not, what I can do, Peggy, I can stay on after and try to walk you through if you want to learn about, the editing part of it.
I got it. I got it.
You got it? Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, glad you asked.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you. So it gave people time to complete this. So feel free, if you are done, go and look at others. I'm not going to scroll down to everyone's right now, but if anybody wants to talk about anything with your slide deck, feel free to put it in chat. If you want the people in the workshop to look at your slide, feel free to make note of it in the chat as well. But again, it's a way to interact. And what I did was created kind of some tasks for you to do, if you could follow those tasks and complete it. And that's what, on the Google exam, what you'll be asked to do. Does it have to look pretty? It doesn't, because on the back end, a real human being isn't grading it. There's an algorithm set up that grades it. So at the beginning, I thought, oh, I got to spend time to make everything just right, look right. But again, just do a checklist. Like, okay, I've done step 1, step 2, step 3. Okay, as long as you've done that, submit it and go on to the next task. So again, you can still feel free to fill out that Google slide deck if you're still working on it. A couple other things you can do with Google Slides. I've got a couple other links here. If you want to learn more about Google Slides, click on those links to see what else is out there. TheSlidesMania.com. I forget who's created this website, but she wasn't even in education. She's out there in the business world, but she's created this website out there that we can use these templates for free. So check out slidesmania.com here, and that maybe you can use some templates out there for your classroom. But there's over 200 templates. All I found, templates are free that I have found. I don't know if there's ever a cost for the templates. But the ones I've used before and referred to have been free. Just make sure anytime you are using any of this material that you get for free, whether you're working with other teachers or sharing it with the administrators, just make sure that you're giving credit to where credit's due. You're not saying, oh, look what I made. You can let them know you got it off of Slides Mania, or, refer them to the website. Because I will tell you, I don't know, in my 21 years in education, the last few years, I have seen an uptick in people sharing a wealth of information out there for free. And it helps everyone. It helps the kids as well. So, if you look at some of these and think, I don't have the time or the know-how to create these, that's fine. These are all out there for you to use in your classroom. Share with other teachers. A few other things here on Google Slides. You figured out how to insert videos. A couple other things. If you are new to beginner guide to slides, here's a link here. You can take a look at. Again, you will see I run out of time creating all of these resources for all of these workshops. So if I find things, I try to share them with you all, and I just make sure I don't take credit and say, oh, look at this slide deck I created, and or this template I created. Just again, give credit to where credit's due. Another thing with slides, you might see some people using slides to create a book. You can change the layout of slides. If you go, just kind of like you can change the layout of whether it was a Word doc or a Google Doc. If you come up here to File, Page Setup, here under Page Setup, you can change the look of your slide. Now, my suggestion, if you come down here to Custom and you want to change it to what, maybe a book might be, if you want to change it to 8.5 by 11 or whatever it may be, change it before you put everything in your slides, because if you change it midstream, then you'll have to go and resize maybe the words or the pictures to make it fit that setup, that page setup that you've changed it to. So what it does, it applies it to the entire slide. I haven't found a way that you can just change one slide a certain size. If anybody knows a way out there, please let me know. Another thing, believe it or not, again, my background was using Microsoft PowerPoint for years and years and years. Well, Google Slides just allowed you to insert audio files here within the last year. How do you insert audio files? Come up here to Insert, go to Audio, and then I always just insert my audio files from my drive. You can, if there's some shared with you or your shared drive or even recent, but I have found I've always had to download them in my drive. If you want to learn more about inserting audio, I can let you know the websites. I don't think I have it on here. In the classroom, what is it called? There's a website out there, Bible. I don't know, I'll have to look it up. It's also on the slide deck that I use to talk about Google Slides as well, but it was free audio. But another place to insert audio files is YouTube. YouTube has audio files that are that you can use in your slide deck, and it's, they've got different copyrights to them. So,
hey Lisa, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm kind of struggling to insert a YouTube video. I was wondering if you could show us how to do that real quickly on the slide.
Yeah, great question.
I'm trying to insert it like a link. I went to insert it, and the only thing that seems available is video or not video, I'm sorry, photo or comment. And the link tab, for some reason, I wasn't able to click on it on the slide, and I'm not sure how to do the video.
Okay, thank you. Is this Alex?
Alex, yes, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Alex. So if you go up here to Insert, so I'm back at the Collaborative Google Slides introduction. If I go to Insert and go to Video, at Video, here where I can search a video, and I showed you earlier how I search for just a Jerry Brooks video. But again, if I have the URL that I know, so it sounds like, Alex, you might already have the URL, just paste and copy the link in here. And then once it's in here, then it should, the select button should be highlighted. So then you can insert the video, and then it should show up here like the video Jenny put in here. Does that help?
Sorry, it's taken me a couple of minutes here. I'm using it on my phone, so it's a little bit complicated, but I'll play around with it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, and then feel free, ask me at the end as well, and we can maybe play around with it too.
Lisa,
Yeah.
this is Karen.
Yeah, hi, Karen.
When I went to insert, video and audio are not an option. I see them there, but they are not an option. Can you help me figure that out?
Okay, so this is the first, I love this question, Karen. This is what I always, when this is an issue, did you open up the slide deck in the Google Chrome web browser?
I thought I did.
Okay, check that out and see. Why I say that is because some of these tools and features don't work unless if you're opening up the Google app, in this case, the Google Slides in the Google Chrome web browser. And that's a perfect example.
So how would I know if it's in the web browser or in the app?
Well, are you in like different web browsers out there? Did it maybe default and open up in Safari? Or
No, it did not do that.
okay, or the Internet Explorer?
Okay, but I do have it under my personal account rather than my school account. Would that make a difference?
It could, but with these two features, I haven't seen that be an issue of the video or audio not showing up. So again, Karen, if you don't mind, maybe I can help you troubleshoot at the end. If
Sure,
that,
no problem.
if that's okay. But I love questions, great question, because again, I think that's a good point to make, that sometimes you do open up some of these Google apps and different web browsers and you don't have all of the features. And usually that takes care of that answer. If not, I don't know what else there might be, but I'd be willing to look at it with you to figure that out. So it just after the workshop, if you can stay on, and then if we run out of time or you have to go, feel free to email me and we can do a Zoom later. So I'm just going to write insert audio and video issues. And if anybody else knows that answer, feel free to put it in chat. Or another thing, sometimes I Google it to see what some of the other issues might be. So also here, then on slide 14, I gave you some lesson ideas of how you can use Google Slides. And I also gave you some links here to go further. You will find some people like this, some people don't. You will find that sometimes I don't go in depth on all of these slides. If you want me to cover more, feel free, let me know. But if not, feel free to use the slide deck as a resource too, to give you some other ideas out there. If you're okay, since I didn't go over all of the testing information in the beginning, I am going to push the break back a little bit and go over Chrome basics. So let me push this slide back. But again, since we're online, feel free, you can take a break whenever, but I am going to try to have a dedicated break here, probably around 10:20, 10:30-ish, if that is okay with everyone. Okay, so moving on. So real quick with Google Slides, you've got the slide deck. You can see how people interacted with it. If there's certain questions you have about the slide deck, feel free to jot them down, ask them in chat, or stay on after to let us know. But Google Slides is another app out there that is, that you can use in the classroom. Do you have to use it? You don't. That's one thing with Google. They have created all of these apps. It may seem overwhelming, but again, it allows for differentiation and how everyone's brains think differently on with some of these apps. And even though we're not in person, you can kind of see who's all here in this workshop with us today. So the next thing I want to talk about is search skills and Chrome basics. So again, we kind of touched on it earlier when Karen asked the question about hey, she couldn't get her audio and video to work. And the reason being, you know, the number one thing I ask people to check that they opened up the app in the Google Chrome web browser. So how Google's got it worked out is that these apps work best in the Google Chrome web browser. They play nicely together. Why? Because Google has created all of this. Now, besides, again, we don't know for sure why that wasn't working with Karen. Hopefully we can figure it out. But in Google Docs, there is a function that you can type. I'm trying to think here in my mind. It's under Tools, and it's voice typing in Google Docs. I've had some teachers reach out to me, they couldn't get voice typing to work. The reason being because they didn't open up Google Docs in the Google Chrome web browser. They looked back and they opened up Google Docs in Safari web browser. So Safari and Google Docs, they don't necessarily always play nicely. And what do I mean by that? Not all of the tools that are available to you in Google Docs will work in the Safari web browser. Will they work in the Google Chrome web browser? They should. So if they don't, just like in Karen's example, we'll look it up and play around with it to see what we can figure out. At the beginning, you might have heard me use the term Omnibox. The Omnibox is right here. It's where the URL is. It's where the web address is. Do you always have to put a web address in the Omnibox? No, you don't. You can come over here, create a new tab, and you can search for things. So if I want to roll a die, or roll a dice, I can search for that. And right now my internet is going slow. I might close that out here. And that didn't come up what I wanted. Maybe I just put roll a die. Am I lagging at all? Can you hear me okay? Okay. For some reason, let me put down calculator. All right, we might have to come back to this. This isn't working at all for me. So, all right, I'll come back to that. But what I mean with the Omnibox is, you know, it's Omni, it means everything. You can search for even the temperature or the time someplace else. So if I search for the time in London right now, let's see if that, oops, if that goes. Okay, nothing is working with my search, huh? All right, that's odd. Again, my apologies here. Okay, so you can search for other things. Usually, you know, you can search even currency or even measurements. So with the Omnibox, it's just not searching for web pages. You can search for other things. There's also a web store out there. So how do I get to the web store? I always have it bookmarked here on my bookmark bar, and I can come up here to my apps and I can go to the web store. If you don't have it on your bookmark bar, the web store is chrome.google.com/web store. And here is where, I don't know if you've seen other people have different themes for their Google Chrome web browser. Here's where they can get different themes. Can they put their own theme in? They can, but here's the ones that Google has pre-made for you. And then here's extensions. Again, you might not know anything about extensions out there yet. Extensions manipulate the web pages you are on if you so choose to install them. Again, usually school districts don't allow you to install extensions. You could do this on your personal account. So again, if you want to learn about extensions, open up your personal account and look at extensions. So if you look right here, the extensions are here to the right of the Omnibox. And one extension out there that's been very popular here is the Bitmoji extension. So if I wanted to add my Bitmoji to, you know, a document or something or email, I can click right here and add my Bitmoji from here. There's a Cami extension. This is to annotate PDFs. If you can see, I have tons of extensions here. And guess what? I even have more. There's an extension out there called Extensity. It helps me manage my extensions. I can turn them off on the back end. So here, again, with Google Chrome web browser, you've got the Chrome Web Store that then can manipulate web pages out there, whether it's for your own teaching or even for students. I've had some students who, or even sometimes my own son, he doesn't want to read what's on the web page, or it may be above his reading level. There's an extension out there that will help him read it to him. And even, I think Mercury Reader is one of the extensions, and it will even remove ads from it. If I click on Mercury Reader here, it'll tell me what it does. It clears away the clutter from all of your articles instantly. So there's another extension out there that will read the web page to him or to your students. And I'm trying to think, is it read and write for Google Chrome? There's a couple different ones out there. So again, it's hard to remember all of the different extensions out there unless if you use it on a daily basis, or you use it, once a week. So that's what extensions are. If you look here at slide 16, if you're kind of confused about, okay, she's talking about these apps, she's talking about extensions. So what apps are like Google Slides, Google Docs, it's the applications, Google Sheets. And again, when you're using the Google apps, they work best in Google Chrome web browser. Why? Because all of the functions, all of the tools will work in that web browser. The extensions, it just extends the functionality of a website. Hopefully it helps with something, whether it's to read the website, delete all of the clutter on the side or all of the ads. If you're wanting it to do something, sometimes just go out and search to see what it does. I've learned about different extensions through emails or just through ads, or other teachers say, oh, this extension is good. So feel free, if you've used extensions, if you want to put in chat some extensions you really like that maybe other people don't know about, feel free to add it there. But again, don't panic if you don't know everything there is to know about extensions. Just have some knowledge of the difference. Again, here I've got a link that Eric Kurtz created, a table, kind of the difference between apps, extensions, and even add-ons. I haven't even talked about add-ons. So right here, again, take a look at this. So again, many of you guys are classroom teachers, and you might feel overwhelmed about all of this technology and think, how am I going to have time to learn about all of this or create these activities for my students? And again, there's a lot of resources out there that you don't have to recreate. You can share with your students to give them knowledge of some topic, and and then do the assignment off of that topic. Could I have recreated this table for you? I could have. Again, does Eric Kurtz allow me to use it in my workshops? He does. I just make sure I don't take credit for it. So that's where, if some of you are with the mindset that you have to create everything in your classroom, good luck. If you can, maybe you can do that. I just know that's not me. I always ran out of time. Even with this job, I run out of time with creating all of the workshops and with learning as much as I can. So again, what a lot of people out there, they do a Creative Commons here. They let you know what I can do with their work that they share. So just know, again, if you are feeling overwhelmed, that's normal, but realize that you don't have to create all of these materials for your classroom. That if you see something out there you like, again, many people out there are sharing things at an unbelievable rate that you can use with others. So before you go to maybe Teachers Pay Teachers or some website where you have to shell out money for some of these resources, check to see if it's out there in other places that you can get for free, as long as you give credit. If you're not for sure, email me and I can maybe see what I can find for free resources for you as well. Okay, so here with the Omnibox, going back to the Omnibox a little bit more, I can, search for things or problems that, I may have. So we might have to search for Karen's problem. Maybe some of you have already searched out there to help Karen with why her audio and video is not working. Conversion rates, bookmark I showed you earlier, translation, incognito. One other thing I want to talk about here is pinning tabs. So right up here, you see I've got some tabs open. And let's say I click on it and like, oh, I clicked on it, I didn't really click on, want to delete it. Well, there's a couple things. If I right click on in a tab up here and I pin it, what it does, it comes over here and I've got my pin tabs. These, I usually have my calendar pinned. I have my Drive pinned, my email, my Google Chat, and usually in this case, the slide deck that I'm working with you all, I've got pinned. Why? So I don't accidentally close it and know that it's up here. But let's say, I accidentally closed that one website. If I want to get that back, I can hit Shift-Control-T. Whoops. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Let me share my screen again. Shift-Control-T should get that tab back for you. And okay, so let me close this one and hit Shift-Control-T. Okay, it should come back. Will you guys try it out there and let me know if it's working for you? Shift-Control-T usually gets, okay, it's working perfect. So I don't know if I need to restart my computer. Some things weren't working here and I don't want to restart it maybe I can restart it on break real quick.
Lisa, can I ask you a question real quick?
Yeah.
When you pin a tab at the top and let's say you exit Google or, shut down your computer, the next time you open it, will it still be pinned or do you have to do that again?
No, mine, they come back up, my pinned ones. Now in the beginning, I don't know if Google changed that, but or because I don't think I changed something on my end or behind the scenes with settings, but when I would restart my computer or something, my pin tabs wouldn't be there. But they, with me turning on my computer this morning, my pin tabs were there. So yeah, they should be there. So that's another advantage too, because if it's things that you open up every day. So again, with technology, it's supposed to be making your lives easier. So great question. Thanks for asking that, Lily. Another thing.
I was just going to say, when I got my new Chromebook, I actually had to go into settings and check mark that I wanted to pick up where I left off the next time I turned on my Chromebook.
Okay.
So it is in settings. If they're closing out, you just have to go in and change that.
Okay, good to know. Thanks, Molly. All right, so if I go to a new tab, we'll see if this works. And let's say I want to look for Cathedral of Notre Dame. And for some reason, my search, I've never had this happen before. So maybe over break, I will restart my computer. Anytime you have issues like I'm having, I always usually do a restart of the computer and to see if that will help. If not, I don't know what will. I know before the workshop this morning, I was in another Zoom meeting and my audio wasn't working, so who knows. So remind me that I need to go over search skills. I'll make a note of that as well when we come back here in a minute. Let me see. So search skills. I've talked about slide 16. Let me talk about slide 17. Again, this challenge here on slide 17, feel free to do if you would like. You don't have to. But again, this is similar to a task you might have to do on the exam, and they've got several different steps. So hopefully this will kind of give you an idea of what the exam, the scenario part of the exam is like. If you look here at slide 18, I've got, again, to review, look at the Chrome browser. One thing I didn't talk about, multiple profiles here. If you come over here to look, I've got my Lisa Person 1. This is my work account profile. Anytime I have my Google Chrome profile of my work account, I want to make sure I have my Google account, my work Google account logged into that. Could I have my other two Google accounts that I have opened here? I can, and some of you may have multiple Google accounts here. You can add another account. I will tell you, this might not make sense now, and that's fine. But later on, let's say you're in your personal account, but you're in your Google Chrome profile. You open up a document someone shared with you. Well, you're working on it, maybe you're editing it, or maybe it won't even give you editing access to it. And the person is saying, hey, I gave you, editing rights to it. You should be able to edit it. Check to see which account it is pulling from. So even though I'm in my work Google Chrome profile and I have my personal account signed in here as well, it could be opening from my personal account. So what I do here, I try to make sure I'm not signed in to any other account. Sometimes I even make sure I just delete these accounts and I only go to my work account and my Google Chrome profile. So earlier in the workshop, did you see that I went to my personal account here? And again, look, here's my Google Chrome profile personal account. Here's my Google account my Google personal account. I try to keep those opened in the same, so my personal profile, I only open up my Google personal account. Can I have other Google accounts there? I can, but again, it could be not allowing you to access some documents that were shared with you. So check here. Some of you want to keep it that way, that's fine. I learned the hard way when I knew I was supposed to have some documents and I was able to work on it in my personal or in my work account, but for some reason I was still my personal account was signed in over here too, and it saved it into my personal account. So I wasn't losing my mind. It was there, but it just switched over to another account. So right now, even during this time of remote learning, if you are sharing devices with your own kids at home or other adults or other people in your household, if they open up their Google accounts under your Chrome profile account, there could be some issues. You might be getting things saved into your Google Chrome profile account that you never opened, and it came from whoever had their other Google accounts opened here. Again, this may not make sense to you until it happens to you. Just know my rule of thumb, I've just tried to make sure that I only have one Google account signed in at a time, and I try to make sure it matches my Chrome profile up here. If you click on your Chrome profile here, here's one place you can add other people. So I've got a student account with the LTC. I've got some other Google accounts here. So if anybody uses my computer here, I either have them add them as a person or they sign in as a guest. And then what I could do, once I don't know who this person is, I can then go and so here's, it popped up on my other monitor. So what I can do here, I can go and delete this person if I don't want this person on there anymore. I could sync it if I want, but I don't, whatever Google account here, I want it to match with this person, but I don't know who this was, so I just need to go and delete that. Again, I will tell you, that might be confusing. Just again, when you later on down the road, if you have issues with that, you'll think, okay, that lady talked about these multiple Chrome profiles, or multiple profiles here, and what did she mean by that? Maybe go and Google it. I don't know if I have resources in this slide deck about that, but just to know. Another thing here to know, the auto updates, sometimes here where the 3 dots are, there could be like a green arrow that just Google has pushed out an update for Google Chrome web browser. So, go and update that. With your school account, you might not have to, but with your personal account, you might. So again, you've got some stuff to review here. If you want to look at the challenges, again, you can do those. You don't have to. And then when we come back, we'll go ahead and take a break here. When we come back from break, then we will we'll see if my computer's working, and I can show you the search skills here that I want to search. So I've got 10:15. We'll take a quick 5-minute break here. If you need longer, that's fine. We'll come back here at, I hope, at 10:20. I might be pausing the recording. And I'm going to see if I can do this without completely shutting down my computer. If so, then I will join the Zoom back here. So we'll see you back. We'll say 10:21. We'll see you back here at 10:21.